This is the afternoon edition of the Weather Xtreme video. This is for Thursday evening. I'm James Spann. Severe storms will likely move across Alabama tonight. A lot of questions. We've got some answers. Let's go in there and take a look. We'll start with some of the Skycam shots around the network this afternoon. As expected, it is a warm, windy winter day. That's the Trustful Skycam. The conditions there overcast, but hey, look at the Fayette Skycam. They've actually got some blue sky up there, and it's very warm in that side of the state where the sun is out. Tuscaloosa, in fact, breaking the record high for the day where the sun is out. And up in Huntsville, it's overcast, warm, windy. Well, there you go. The big trough is developing as forecast across the Great Plains, providing dynamic support for strong to severe storms developing west of the state this afternoon. Those move in here tonight. And yeah, buddy, Tuscaloosa 78. The old record 77, set back in 1986. Birmingham at 72. 75 up in the Shoals. We should be around 60 this time of the year. And a week ago, we were under a winter storm warning. Wow. And around the nation, you can see how colder air is moving back down behind the trough into places like Denver, where they're in the 20s. But it's awfully warm here across the Deep South, and typically when it's warm in February, at some point you pay the price with big storms. There's a watch warning map. Up north, blizzard warnings in effect for parts of Iowa and Minnesota. At one point today, Des Moines, at the same time, was under a blizzard warning and a severe thunderstorm warning. You don't see that a lot. We've got high wind warnings around Chicago and Milwaukee, and a number of severe weather watches are being issued off to the west. That is one until 8 o'clock tonight. That's a severe thunderstorm watch from near Lufkin, Texas, up to the Mississippi Delta. This is one of the newer watches, a tornado watch, in effect until 9 o'clock, much of North Mississippi, parts of West and Middle Tennessee, on up into Paducah, Evansville, Cape Girardeau. No watches for Alabama as of mid-afternoon. Take a look at the convective outlook. Moderate risk of severe weather. That's the enhanced risk from North Mississippi up through parts of Western and Middle Tennessee into Kentucky. Surrounding that, a slight risk from the Gulf Coast up to Indianapolis and Dayton, Ohio. And includes almost all of Alabama except the southeastern corner down around Dothan. This is the wind probabilities, and the numbers have ramped up within that moderate risk zone to 45%. That means a 45% chance of damaging winds of 58 miles per hour or greater within 25 miles of a given point in that region. We've got the 30% zone down into parts of north and central Alabama. And the 15% zone is down toward places like Auburn and Mobile and Troy. Tornado probabilities for tonight, 5% possibility of a tornado within 25 miles of a point through much of the Mid-South, including parts of North and West Alabama. 2% elsewhere. We don't expect a big tornado problem tonight. The chance is not zero, but mainly it's going to be a straight-line wind event. And then tomorrow, everything sweeps onto the east. We have a slight risk of severe weather from Panama City, Tampa Bay, Daytona Beach, north to the southern tip of New Jersey. This is the HRRR model tonight, valid at midnight. And the models have trended slower, and the timing has been adjusted just a little bit. This shows the main band of storms over Tuscaloosa, moving into Birmingham at midnight. So maybe a little later than first forecast earlier this morning, but still not a huge change. We note the HRRR model is trying to show a few little isolated cells ahead of the main line. We'll keep an eye on those, but again, the overall conditions really don't favor tornadoes. This is the latest timing graphic from the National Weather Service, and they've got the lines sweeping through the Birmingham Metro. They've got 8 to 11, Anniston, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m., and then out of here by midnight tonight. Just kind of give you a rough idea when it will likely arrive in your hometown. Here's the rain with this thing. This is valid through next Tuesday night, 1 to 2 inches. Don't expect any flooding problems here. The heavier totals are on the Gulf Coast. There's a wave on Sunday that will affect the southern part of Mississippi and Alabama. Don't think that affects us. So let's go in there and take a look at the metrics for tonight. First off, this is the instability, the convective available potential energy, valid tonight at 10. coming off the HER model, the HRRR. This is a good mesoscale model, and really it has higher CAPE values than some of the synoptic scale models. You see the shades of yellow. Those are surface-based CAPEs to almost 2,000 joules per kilogram. So that is certainly potent. In fact, it's got a max of 2348 down there below Meridian, Mississippi. So the air will certainly be unstable tonight. This is the bulk shear down in the low levels. And this is coming off the RAP, the Rapid Update Cycle model. And it's got 30 knots of shear. These values are a little higher, and that would support some rotating updrafts if we can get some breaks in the line. So again, the tornado threat is not zero. There could be an isolated spin-up tornado in the line in a place or two. So, don't be shocked if there's a tornado warning involved in this thing tonight, but most of the warning should be for strong winds. This is the low-level jet, the wind field at 850 millibars. And if there's any good news here, the stronger winds are north of Alabama. Those 50, 60, 70-knot winds are in Tennessee and Kentucky and Ohio. And the low-level jet really weakens down in through here. So hopefully that will prevent this from being a really widespread type thing with strong damaging winds. The Energy Helicity Index looks like there's a little spot where the value hits 2 over West Alabama. This is valid tonight at 11 o'clock Central Time. And again, when you see an EHI over 1, that is significant. Over 2 is certainly significant. And a sounding. This is the forecast sounding for Birmingham at 11 o'clock tonight. Look down there in the lower levels. The veering of the wind, not overwhelming. You really want to see that lowest gate down there veer to the southeast, and it's more to the south-southwest. So there's not a whole lot of veering of the wind with altitude down there in the lowest levels. And again, the wind field at 850 millibars there is about 45 knots. That's not overwhelming. So, I don't think this is going to be some kind of red letter night, but clearly we're going to see strong storms that could produce winds of 50, 60 miles an hour in spots, maybe enough to knock down trees and power lines. So just be ready for that. All right. And by the way, this is tonight at midnight, and there's the upper support for the whole thing. Very nice trough there. What about tomorrow? Trough rotates onto the northeast. Down below that, we go mostly sunny. Should be a beautiful day. Will be cooler. The high will be around 60. Saturday looks good. Lots of sun. The high in the mid to upper 60s. Gorgeous day for whatever you want to do outdoors. It'll be cool in the morning. We'll start the day in the 30s. And again, this is Sunday. We're getting very good model consistency. A little wave near the Gulf Coast producing rain over the southern half of Alabama and Mississippi. Odds are the rain will be south of Alabama 22 or south of Clanton. The northern half will see some increase in clouds, but should be mostly dry. And the high Sunday will stay in the 60s. Monday, air should be a little cooler, the high dropping back to about 60. Weather should be mostly sunny. This is Tuesday, low 60s. Wednesday, thickness values come down, the high dropping back in the 50s, the GFS printing a high of 54. And again, I wouldn't be shocked if at some point the thickness values come down even more, maybe highs in the 40s. And a week from today, the GFS kind of keeps most of the northern branch stuff well to the north of here, and the really colder air north of here, that would be highs in the 50s and lows in the 30s, if that's correct. But I would not be shocked if it's colder as we get closer to that. Check a few times out here in March. This is March 4th. Batch of storms with a cold front coming in, maybe some snow over Kentucky. In March the 7th, a little wave in the Gulf producing some rain, but good news, no evidence of any winter storm or severe weather problems beyond tonight at this point. But we all know that could change. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video today. We'll have notes on the blog. Next video here by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. If you can, catch us on ABC 3340 News this evening on the live stream of the television side at 4, 5, 6, and 10. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening, and God bless.